All right, now what do we do if we have transition metals and polyatomic ions at the same time? Remember, the transition metals have a variety of charges, so you need the Roman numerals. The polyatomic ions have different versions that have different charges, so you just have to be careful with looking up the correct polyatomic ion and using that in the formula to figure out what the charge of the transition metal is going to be. So FeNO3 3. All right, so Fe is iron, NO3 is nitrate. So nitrate has a charge of -1. There are 3 of them. That's what the little parentheses and the little number 3 outside means. There are 3 nitrates. So the total negative charge is -3. That means the total positive charge has to be 3. And there's only 1 iron, so 3 divided by 1 is 3. So it's iron 3 nitrate. Again, we don't change the name of the polyatomic ion when we put it in a compound. PbSO4 2. SO4 is a polyatomic ion called sulfate. Has a charge of -2. According to the formula, there are 2 of them, which means 2 times -2 is -4. Means the total positive charge has to be 4, which means that the lead, since there's only 1 lead, 4 divided by 1 is 4. So it's lead 4 sulfate. Mn2SO3 3. All right, so this SO3 is sulfite, not sulfate, but sulfite. They actually have the same charge, so that part of it doesn't change, but the name is different for SO3 versus SO4. So 3 sulfites, each with a charge of -2, means the total negative charge is -6. That means the total positive charge has to be 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the charge of the metal here, the transition metal, which is manganese, is 3. So it's manganese 3 sulfite. SCOH3. Okay, OH is hydroxide, which has a charge of -1, OH with a -1. There are 3 of them, total charge of -3, which means the total positive charge is 3, which means since there's only 1, 3 divided by 1 is 3, and the name of that element is scandium. So scandium 3 hydroxide. Going the other way, chromium 6 phosphate. All right, phosphate is PO4 and has a charge of -3. Chromium, as this says, has a charge of +6. Well, if I switch the numbers, I would get Cr3 PO4 6. Now that can be simplified though, because 3 and 6 can both be divided by 3. So what I end up with is Cr PO4 2. 2 phosphates would give me a total of -6. 1 chromium 6 gives me a total charge of +6, so they cancel out. Vanadium 4 carbonate. Carbonate is CO3 with a charge of -2. Vanadium 4 means it's got a charge of +4. So here again I can switch them and I'd get V2CO3 4, but those are both divisible by 2. So if I just do V and then CO3 2, that's the same. 1 to 2 is the same as 2 to 4, same ratio. So this is the final formula. Tin 2 nitrite. So nitrate is NO3, nitrite is NO2, has a charge of -1. Tin 2, SN is the symbol for tin, 2 plus. And then when you switch the numbers, you get SN NO2 2. would be the final formula. And titanium 2 acetate. So acetate, again, remember, is C2H3O2, has a charge of -1. The titanium here, it says, has a charge of +2, which means if I switch the numbers, 1 tin, and then this is kind of long, but you put C2H3O2, put that whole thing in parentheses, and then put 2 outside of it. That's switching the numbers. So Ti parentheses C2H3O2 close parentheses 2 is the final formula there. And chromium 3 hydroxide, OH negative, chromium with a +3. So switching the numbers, I would get Cr, OH in parentheses, 3 outside the parentheses. So remember, anytime you need a number on a polyatomic ion, you put the whole polyatomic ion in parentheses exactly the way it is, and then you put the number you need outside the parentheses. So even here, where we had all these numbers in the parentheses, don't change any of those. You just put the whole thing as is in parentheses and put any number you need on the outside.